Every sport has that player who is seldomly in contention but always in the conversation. They get voluptuous endorsement deals, the attention of the cameras, and all other perks of the superstar life, even though their games leave a lot to be desired. And because golf is a very individual sport, it's easier to spot these underperforming yet highly paid and popular players. So who is golf's most overrated player? Michelle Wie. Every child who has shown signs of prodigy in the amateurs has been ushered into the pro game as the new Tiger Woods, and they've all done an excellent job of drowning the hopes of the golf world by becoming nothing like Tiger. In this unusual sighting, the Tiger type was spotted on the women's end of the game. Michelle Wie was probably the closest thing to the female Tiger archetype. And why not? Wie owned almost every field she played on during her rise. The women's amateur golf scene in her home state of Hawaii had her name written all over it. She was just out of the cradle when she won the Hawaii State Women's Stroke Play event at age 11. Wie was the youngest player to Monday qualify for an LPGA Tour event when she played at the Takafuji Classic aged 12 years and 4 months. Her early maturity ensured she was the youngest of many things, even the youngest player to play on the PGA Tour. You might not believe it, but the hype was high and, in Wie's case, it was very real. A year before Wie competed at the 2004 Sony Open, Annika Sorenstam had given the men's game a go at the Bank of America Colonial. But even the greatest modern women's golfer didn't close the gender gap as Wie did in Hawaii. Her second-round 68 was the lowest ever by a woman on the PGA Tour, but it was her first round of 72 that denied the 14-year-old what would have been a spectacular cut by one shot. You can't blame sponsors like Nike and Sony for immediately betting millions on that precocious teenager as soon as she turned pro in 2005. But this time around, there was no Tiger mania for Nike, the LPGA, or Wie. For some reason, the Michelle Wie promise was never kept. The return on investment was a meager 5 victories over more than a decade and a half of competition on the LPGA Tour. The 2014 Women's US Open is the only major in Wie's shockingly scanty trophy cabinet. Sergio Garcia. Remember this kid? That was an ecstatic 19-year-old Sergio Garcia at the 1999 PGA Championship at Medina. It was a flying start to a rivalry the golf world ignited and expected to last for many years. Garcia was the European mercenary brought in to give Tiger Woods a hard time. But can you fault anyone for suggesting this outlandish competition? Garcia had conquered Europe very early, so he had also believed his own hype. In 1995, he won the European Amateur and made the cut at the Tour España Open Mediterranean. He was the youngest player to do both. With 19 amateur wins in the bag, it was hard to not be convinced that Garcia could do it, that he could actually give Tiger a run for his money. But time passed, and that run you saw earlier, this one, would be the closest race between him and Tiger. He soon became just another member of Tiger watchers and a surly whiner. His mudslinging against Tiger Woods that ended awkwardly in 2013 and blaming his loss of the 2007 Open Championship on bad breaks are just some highlights of career-long Garcia gripes. He owes much of his stay in the spotlight to his endless protests, the old hope, and Ryder Cup heroics. A decent 16 wins on the European Tour and 11 on the PGA, including a green jacket he won after Tiger had racked up most of his 15 majors, is a disappointing display from the man that should have been the next Seve Ballesteros, Jim Furyk. It must be a little surprising to hear one of golf's most consistent performers mentioned in a video like this. But that consistency is exactly the problem with Jim Furyk. His funky swing might have earned him enough money and a place among the best of the best, but he is yards away from being one of the best. He didn't come into the PGA Tour with a glimmering amateur record. All he had were 2 All-Pac-10 and 1 All-American honor during his time at the University of Arizona. But when he joined the tour, he proved he had a game that could almost win on any given day. Yet his ability to card around a 58 as he did at Travelers in 2016 only got him close to victory about twice as many times as he won on the PGA Tour. A look at his career numbers shows he made over 510 cuts in 635 events. From those cuts, he finished in the top 10 188 times, third on 17 occasions, and second on 31 attempts. Furyk's runner-up curse is so potent that his highest world ranking was second place that he reached in 2006. You know, at some point, even he must have been bored with losing. And that's the point. The point is to win. And it seemed Furyk never got it. His game was good, but it just never grew. Guess he was a little lax with the veggies. To think Furyk has only topped the leaderboard 17 times makes one wonder what all the fuss has been about a golfer who has just one major and an interesting swing. Rickie Fowler. Right after Rory McIlroy turned pro in 2007, the golf world began looking for a challenger. But for real, how many failed challengers do golf fans need to see to stop setting up these weird contests? We were all told a kid out of Oklahoma State University was going to get the job done. To give him his flowers for his amateur years, Rickie had the posture of a golf superstar in the making. Winning the Ben Hogan Award and the Phil Mickelson Award in his first year sure put him on the radar. During his domination of amateur golf in California, he won the Sunnyhanna Amateur 2 years in a row. For Team USA, he put up stellar performances at the 2007 and 2009 Walker Cups, where he won 7 games and lost just 1. So naturally, Fowler was sold as the next big thing. But after he turned pro in 2009, Fowler went dry, and everyone noticed it. No, his face wasn't ashy. 5 years later, he had only 1 trophy to show for all the buzz. But Fowler would have his best year in 2015, all thanks to the worst kind of criticism. His first win in 2015 was sponsored by Sports Illustrated. The survey conducted by the magazine showed that anonymous PGA Tour players had picked Fowler as the most overrated player on tour. In response to the scathing revelation, Fowler said, "It's fine by me. I'm going to try and play as well as I can this week, and I'm going to take care of my business. I guess top 5s in 4 majors isn't that good. So 1 of 3 isn't that good. Like I said, I'll take care of my business and I'll be just fine." He was referring to his 2014 showing at the majors where he finished top 5 in all 4. He was the first since Tiger, and only the 3rd player after Jack Nicklaus to do it. But hey, the gist was that he was coming to win a lot. So to prove a lot, Fowler won the 2015 Players' Championship and the Deutsche Bank Championship. But since then, he only added 2 more to his collection between 2016 and 2021. Fowler's performance is a far cry from what was expected of him, especially by his sponsors, but his name is as visible as anybody's in golf. Ian Poulter. Sorry, we forgot to tell you something about that Sports Illustrated poll. 2 golfers actually took the top position, and Poulter was the second player who got 24% of the votes. And no, they didn't go to playoffs. There's even a tweet showing the 2 players sharing the award. Poulter led the celebrations by tweeting at Rickie, "Boy, Rickie, totally overrated round of golf again. You are 24%. In response to the gag, Rickie expressed his disappointment at having to share the trophy, telling Poulter, "I'd have voted for you." Of course, that wasn't all Poulter had to say about it. Later, he told newsmen, "It's not my fault some of the other players might not earn what I earned. I'm only here once, and I don't want to just be Mr. Goody Two-Shoes, say the right thing and then hide behind a fake wall." If anyone had a problem with the Englishman, it probably had more to do with his strong words than his weak game. Poulter has a lot of money and lets everyone see how he spends it either on his massive garage or his dream house. Besides spending big and having an enviable 6 losses in 22 Ryder Cup matches, Poulter also talks a very big game for a man with just 3 PGA Tour wins and 12 European Tour victories. He said too much to Golf World magazine in 2008 when he said, "The trouble is, I don't rate anyone else. Don't get me wrong, I really respect every professional golfer, but I know I haven't played to my full potential, and when that happens, it will just be me and Tiger. Poulter, in the same world as Tiger? Come off it, man." If you enjoyed this video about the most overrated golfers, check out the video on the screen now. We've also posted it below, and we're sure you'll like it too. See you there!